Massachusetts to Hamden, Mass. And I had a little Midland XT511 GMRS radio in my garage. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out where I was getting all these transmissions from. Didn't understand what GMRS was. I just thought it was someone local with a walkie-talkie. So in the course of trying to investigate where those transmissions were coming from, I stumbled upon GMRS, and I figured out it was a local repeater up here in Holyoke, Massachusetts, up on Mount Tom. And then that kind of got the bug going for me, kind of lit my fire, so to speak. You guys kindly allowed me to join some of your meetings a few months back, and I remember having the, I think it was the tech level Jeopardy contest you guys held, and I had been studying for the tech test for a few weeks prior to that. After having that meeting with you all, I felt confident enough to take the exam. So I've just recently changed my call sign from WRJY 807 to now Kilo Charlie 1 Papa Bravo Quebec. I just got my ticket, so I'm happy to be part of the brotherhood here. And I really want to thank all of you, because in one way or another, whether I was writing down your call sign or your name and trying to understand who you all were and where you were from, it kind of kept that passion and fire going. So I appreciate you guys allowing me to be part of this meeting and welcoming me in.
Oh, welcome. It's a great hobby. You can spend a lot of money if you're not careful.
Ain't that the truth?
My wife has already asked me if I wouldn't mind just stop doing the radio stuff and just get a mistress. And I said, no, I'd rather do the radio.
Less aggravation.
Be careful what you ask for, Randy.
Oh boy.
A quick question for you all. So being a new amateur, I've done a few local check-ins. I've had some morning check-ins and up here locally. I've spoken to a couple of guys down in Southington, Connecticut. So that's a good 50, 60 miles from me here. I think it was KB1 AEV was the repeater network up here in Northern Connecticut,
Yep.
Southern Mass.
Yeah, that's Dana.
Yeah, so I talked to a few guys there. Any suggestions on what I could do next to kind of keep this this learning experience going? What I should get myself involved in? What should I be angling towards? Anything in particular? I do have my sights on the general test, and I think ideally, I'd like to get on to HF. And again, just don't want to drink from the fire hose, but I do want to get involved a little more deeply. So just looking for suggestions on what next.
Well, HF has been horrible the last few years, but it's picking up. There was a sunspot just this week. So there should be increased solar activity. We're going from a sunspot minimum to a sunspot maximum, which means 10 and 6 meters will be better.
Okay.
And you can do that as a tech. 15 and the other bands will also be better, which you can do as a general. So it's a good time to be pursuing HF right now. The problem I'm hearing from people is that the radio market is there's a lot of stuff is back ordered, and used stuff is going as soon as it's posted.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes it might be hard to score a radio, but beyond that, it's a good time to be getting into it.
Yeah, I mean, don't radio shame me, but I've got a Baofeng little handheld I've been using. It's cool to keep in touch with stuff and local. And then I have a Woshin, I think it's a 980p.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of everything in that one. It's again, I'm able to listen to the local police and hear some GMRS and hear some amateurs.
So Randy, don't feel bad about that. I've got 7 of those radios. Right.
Yeah.
That's how I broke into VHF in this hobby.
I have 3 of them.
We all did.
Yeah.
And those radios, you could say what you want about Chinese radios, but those radios work.
Yeah.
And I've only had one of my 7 that really didn't work out of the box. And I even found a reason for that device, which is this device here. You can't really see it because of my background, but this is a Fox in a box. This is a hidden transmitter that I stripped down a Baofeng, the one that had the problem, and put it in there. And the problem that I have with that rig is the fact that the speaker system doesn't work. I don't know if it's audio or speaker related, but I don't need that for a Fox in a box. That's why it's in that box. And
Okay.
today I debuted that thing and it worked kind of. So I don't have, don't be bad. Don't feel abashed or afraid about saying you got Bofang. Everybody's got those.
Yep.
And I would recommend one thing. Westcon and Nutmeg have traffic nets. They have them almost every evening on various frequencies on the W1 HDN network, which is a link network, and also on the, what's the other one? Help me out here, guys. So it's the Nutmeg. That's our own repeater, W1 NRG.
But,
So they conduct traffic nets. Those are great to listen in on and take part of. That'll teach you a lot, Randy. Teach you a
On
lot how to
procedures.
on procedures and how you conduct yourself on the air and during a traffic net and probably otherwise as well.
Yeah, I learned a lesson this week, or actually last week. I was on a net and they were having people check in, and I didn't know when to jump in. And I just happened to catch the net controller say, you know, we're looking for the suffix A through F. Oh, I'm Papa Bravo Quebec, so I knew I had to wait, and it went much more smoothly knowing when I was supposed to jump in and
Yep.
not. So, yeah.
Yeah, if you work DX, if you do contesting or work DX, they do the same thing, even on HF. Some guys, and you'll hear them say it, okay, now working Whiskey 1 or, you know, one land, I was working Whiskey 2 or Whiskey 3, or which means different areas. If you've got a call sign that's got a 1 in it, he wants you to respond.
Okay.
So that's how they chop that up. And you'll see that on HF a lot, even 10 meters. Some people say it's VHF, but I think it's HF too.
What about CW these days? Is it gone by the wayside, or
Absolutely not.
Not at all. Not at all.
No.
It's becoming a lot more popular.
And a lot of younger people I'm hearing are interested in CW. We tested a 14-year-old Saturday, and his grandfather brought him down. His grandfather's a ham, and he said the boy is interested in learning CW.
Okay.
And so it's got a mystique to it, and it's not required, but it's one of those things you can pursue if you feel like it.
Okay.
And there are people on, a lot of them only come out during contests, but there's also a lot of rag chewing going on CW as well,
Yeah.
as well as the digital modes. There's a lot to learn. There's all sorts of layers of ham radio that you can get into, you know, at your own pace, at your own convenience, and, you know, as you have the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know any other languages, Randy?
A little bit of French, enough to get by, but
Oui, un
nothing
peu.
I want to trust my life to.
So vous voulez un peu. So yeah, that's just like learning another language. CW is like learning, you learn to recognize words and letters rather than just das and dits.
Yeah,
That's,
I'm
I
a
guess.
general aviation pilot, so I know the basic
Oh, okay.
Morse from checking identifiers and localizers and all that stuff. But again, I'm only listening for 3 or 4 characters when I do, but it's enough to know how to segregate what I'm hearing from a dash from a dot. So,
Well, you've already got to step up then. It's going to be a shoe-in for you to learn that.
Yeah, there's old friend of mine always said there's 30 different kinds of ham radio. And there's something there for everybody.
Yeah.
And,
Well, there's more than 30 now, but yeah, he's right.
yeah.
you know, and you know, 2 meter FM is just scratching the surface of all the different things you can do, and there's all these digital modes, and it seems like every day there's a new digital mode out there that people are using, hooking the computers and the phones and whatever else and tablets up to the radio, and you know, there's building, and there's building antennas. Is a lot of people really enjoy playing with antennas. It's something that I really enjoy, is antennas. Yeah, work on your general for sure. That's the general test is not really, to my mind, the general test is really not much more difficult than the tech test. It's a lot of the same topics and same information, just, you know, half a step further. The extra can be a challenge. That's where a lot of the more heavy duty math and things like that are, but there are ways to approach taking the test. The two best tips I can give you on general test or the extra test for that matter is do the online practice tests, do the online practice tests, do the online practice tests.
And do the online practice test.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, do the online practice test.
Yeah.
And don't forget to do the online practice test.
Do
the online practice test.
do 2 or 3 a day.
Memorize the online practice test.
Don't overdo it, but do 2 or 3 a day. And when you're passing them regularly, you're ready and you're going to pass and you're going to get it.
Don't forget to tell them Gordon West is coming.
That's right.
We've got Gordon West coming. Keep your ears peeled for that. Gordon West books are very helpful. I know a lot of people have used them.
Are you in the club, Randy? You're a member?
No, that's another thing I was going to ask. Do you guys take members from this far away?
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got
Yeah, we're not picky. If that clears the bank, you're good.
What's
And
your
we have
just
And we have PayPal.
what's your Randy? What's your email? If you give me your email address, I'll make sure that you get all of the notices for like what's coming up, the Gordon West activity meeting and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll text it to you in the chat so you have it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Randy,
Let me just.
if you go to our website,
Yep.
W1NRG,
Yep.
online is an application form that you can fill out online.
Yep.
Okay, and then you can email it to us. You can
Okay.
also pay the dues PayPal.
PayPal. Okay.
If you do those 2 things, we'll vote you in on Thursday.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
One other point, Randy. Just on as far as the tests go, one way to look at it is you need to get I guess it's 74% to pass.
Yep.
Right.
It means on the general test that means you need to get 26.
26. Yeah.
Correct. Okay. The other way to look at it is you're allowed to get 9 wrong. Okay. When you start thinking about it that way and you realize how the test is structured, there's a pool and you can download the question pool and you'll see they're broken up into sections regarding a particular topic. When they make the tests, there can only be 1 question from each section. Okay, so, my favorite example is what are the frequency privileges of a general class operator in the 20-meter band? And my God, it's just a block of gray text
Yeah.
with a million numbers and who can remember all that stuff? And geez, and you beat your head in trying to remember that. The hell with it. If you can remember, there's 4 answers. You got A, B, C, and D. 2 of them are going to say, if you can remember that 20 meters is 14 megahertz, 14 dot something megahertz. Okay.
That'll get rid of 3 of them.
Chances are good that 2 of the answers are going to be 14 megahertz and 2 of them are not going to be. Okay. So first you say, I'm going to take that question, that whole section, I'm just going to put that in my pile of 9 that I'm allowed to get wrong. And I'm not going to worry about it. And if you can remember that 20 meters is 14 megahertz, now you throw a dart. You got a 1 out of 2 shot anyway, instead of 1 out of 4, because you can remember it's 14 megahertz. But you say, I'm not going to beat my brains in on trying to memorize all that gray text. Okay. I'm going to move on and stick with what you know.
Yeah, I took the tech test. I got 34 of the 35, and they asked me to sit for the general. So I said, sure, why not? Give it a shot. And I felt pretty good about a couple of the answers, but I ended up just missing the general apparently. So I'll, it's like shit. I got another month of study. So we'll see if I can
Well, a
do
little
it.
bit of practice, you need 2 more answers, a little bit of practice, you'll be there.
Yeah, so I've got this app I've been using. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it, was tracking test scores, and I had one dinger at the bottom early on. And it's great because it tracks where you had most of your mistakes and you can focus in on it. So it was a nice app on the phone. When I put my son to bed, I'm able to sit there and do the practice test. So it was at least 1 hour, 2 hours a night for 2-3 weeks, and it just kind of locked in. So
Repetition will bring you success, Randy.
yeah, thanks.
There's a outfit called S.A.M Test Online that they do a real good job. They're going to get you for about $35. They have a nice program. They go through tutorials and they give you, samples and questions. If you get it wrong, it doesn't matter. Eventually, that same question will come back up again. I used it for my extra class, and I thought it was real helpful.
Great, thanks. Hey, Jim, I almost don't recognize you without the big antenna behind you.
Yeah, where's that magnetic loop, dude?
The wife's cleaning, spring cleaning.
Oh, no. Don't tell us it's missing.
No, she's
my
using it
halo.
to beat the rugs.
My halo fell off.
Yes.
Hey, Joe, I think your cat stopped setting CW. He definitely looked like he was pissed off.
He was.
He was
used
setting
to come
question
over
marks.
here and sit in my lap and look at me like, well,
What the hell? I
What the
checked the
hell did you do?
SWR bridge. I'm not getting out, Dad. What the hell's going on here?
yeah, she's something else.
Yeah, Sean just put up a link in the chat. Let me look at this here. Ham radio license exam.com study that JSP. Looks like a pretty good link. I used personally, I used QRZ.com. They've got some study practice exams that I just kept going over and over. So
Yeah, I like using this site for technician in general, and it brings you through like a PowerPoint presentation. If you get something incorrect or you have a question about it, you can instantly click on the tutorial portion, and it brings you through and explains why the answer is the answer it is. And then you go back taking the test, and you can sign up for it, and it'll keep track of your progression and what questions you tend to get wrong more often. So it'll keep presenting those to you.
yeah, I was when I was studying for it and trying to get my license, I not only wanted to know what the answers were, but I wanted to know the why of it. I've been in electronics since I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and a lot of this stuff, a lot of the RF stuff was new to me, and I wanted to know the why, and I just didn't understand Smith charts and all that stuff, other stuff. So having the exams, yeah, sure, it does give you repetition, but a study guide is always nice to have if you get an inquisitive mind too.
Yeah, they always want you to solve for X, but they never want you to get Y.
Yeah, I understand that.
Back in my days, Sonny.
Well, back in my day, Sonny.
Uphill both ways in the snow.
Yes.
Right.
Well, in the old days, the general and the technician tests were the same tests. The only difference was you had a 13-word per minute code test for the general.
Right.
But the theory part of the exam was identical.
Right. And I thought that exam was harder than the extra.
I took that exam when I was 18 years old down in Washington, D.C. FCC facility. And the only reason I failed it was because of code.
I had to go to Hartford.
I lived down in DC, so a bunch of us, we had the standing rule in our electronics class. So my instructor was James Blanchard Morrison. He was chief of the boat, and he was a tough old bastard, but he was pretty cool too. He had 2 rules. You get your FCC second class license or your general radio telephone license, which included code, or you build a 3-stage super heterodyne radio. You get an A for every class for the 3 years you were there. And all you had to do was show up. So there were a bunch of us that were like, yeah, we're going to keep going down every 6 months to the FCC to try to get get out of that. None of us really ever did it, but it was fun trying.
Oh, that's good.
Today you can buy a Baofeng for, $30 or whatever. John probably remembers the first 2-meter portable I had was a Motorola HT200. The damn thing cost me $500 used.
And it weighed
Yeah.
500 pounds.
2 watts and 2 channels, and it was always never working. Uh-oh, he's gonna pull his out.
Well, there we
Hey,
go.
he's going to get it.
He's probably got a box of them.
I bought a, what did I buy? I bought an Icon 2-meter rig, 10-watt 2-meter rig from Jim Tony. And WA1ZVY, I think his call sign is. And he didn't charge me anything for it, but I'm looking forward to putting that on my desk here. It's 10 watts output, and it doesn't have any PL tones or anything like that, but I guess I'll be able to use it on at least our repeater.
Uh-oh.
Here you go, John.
Found it.
Is that the
Right.
ice?
Yep, there we
Okay.
go.
What's it, IC2A2?
No, it's got a
218.
keypad.
No,
It's got a-
Oh, wow.
Santec ST20,
Oh, geez.
and I bought it at Rogus Electronics used, and I think I paid in 1989. 1989, and I paid, I think, $300 for it.
Wow.
1989, it was used, and a couple people I knew or kind of knew said they thought it was a pretty decent deal, and I had a ton of fun with this radio.
Remember the old Wilson portables?
When's the last
Yeah.
time you were
Yeah.
using that?
I had one.
Yeah, that was a nice radio.
That was a
And,
good radio. The
John,
trouble
what,
was, it
and,
was
and the
crystal
standard
controlled,
C146 was also a nice radio.
where
but
is
the
this?
Six
crystal
channels,
control-
6-channel crystal radios.
Crystal control radios.
Yep.
I remember
Yeah.
it because I had to open it up and say, oh crap. It's got little crystals in it because my 5.2 simplex channel disappeared on me one day.
But when we started, we didn't even have portables. We had pack radios.
Hmm.
And I was up on Meriden Mountain, and a guy come out of one of the radio stations there, and he was a ham, and he had a Motorola pack radio. And we started talking, and he showed us about this new stuff called FM. And he hit the pack radio off the Springfield repeater and talked to somebody in downtown Springfield with this little 5-watt pack radio, and we were impressed.
Hmm.
And that was the very beginning of FM.
You asked me a question, and I didn't hear what you said.
That was me, but I don't remember what it was. So I'll think of it in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Joe, your
Yeah.
cat was staring at you,
You ask
buddy.
him when he used it last.
I'm still getting daggers in the back of my head.
I'm
Yeah,
just
he's
giving
giving
you
you the stink
forewarning,
eye.
buddy. He's giving you, I think Ted's right. He's giving you the stink eye,
Yep.
Throw him a dead fish.
the hairy eyeball.
Yeah,
Turning the VFO knob.
You better turn on the transmitter, buddy.
I better turn the power on pretty soon.
Yeah.
when did I use it last? Is that what Bart
I
said?
think that's
Yeah,
what
That
Rob
was
asked you.
that was my question. You're right. Thank you.
Oh, God. Many years ago.
Define many.
Still work?
Oh, the battery is shot. I tried putting power on and the battery is shot, and I didn't even go any further than that. So I think it had, at least when I got it, I don't know if I ever put a new battery on it, but I think it was NiCads when I got it. And,
Nickel cadmium, huh? Grand
yeah.
Poobah.
real no. Oh, look who's here! Wow. So yeah, that was. But it got me going with ham radio. And
My first 2-meter rig was a Benton Harbor lunchbox. Super regen, looked like a lunchbox with a big flapper handle for transmit and receive. And
We have one in the case down at the firehouse.
I was going to
Do
say
they-
we've got some GON sets down there or something like
we
that.
got the tour. We've got
The
no,
two,
it's-
that's right.
It's
tour,
a
yeah,
tour or a sixer. Is it a sixer or a tour?
I
One
think
of
we
had-
those.
got one of each,
Yeah.
they didn't make both.
It's been so long since I've seen the inside of the place.
I know.
right?
I got close
Yeah, it's-
Saturday.
Well, some people are more privileged than others, that's all.
Well, didn't get inside, got into the bay.
Oh, sorry. Whoops, here we go. Another operator heard from.
Oh, yeah, there you go. What's your cat's name, Sean?
I have Nicodemus, Nico for short.
There you go.
Nico.
He's a ham cat. He sits up here and listens to the RF as it goes by. He's looking at me when I hit some Morse code or whatever. He tends to jump up and try and bite my coax coming in through the window.
Yeah, we have, us with second operators like that tend to have funny little holes in all the coax running around the shack.
Oh, yeah.
You look around, you feel something, you go, what the hell is that? You look, oh boy, yep.
Yeah.
Long as you don't
Chewy
shoot through when
antennas.
you're putting out 1,000 watts.
Yeah, my cat's got no such ambition. He's just he likes his snackies. So when he comes and visits me, he's looking for a snack. He knows where his bread's buttered.
Yeah.
That's all right. My cat died about 4 years ago. I still see that son of a gun running around here. 'Cause he messes with the radio dials and stuff.
Say, well, how did that dial get over there? I didn't do that.
That's funny stuff.
I know I was on 40 meters. How the hell you get on 10?
Hey, Brian, welcome back. Did you fix your audio?
I don't know. I had to change to my
Yeah.
laptop and it had
There
to.
you go.
Sounds
go.
great,
Better.
dude. Sounds great.
Just can't see me. I look like a disembodied head.
Yeah. Yeah, kinda. Oh, there's,
That's all right.
speaking of Ed. Checked in.
Said head, not Ed.
Take your pick, Ed.
Ed is the head of the club.
It's the head. So I actually organized all of the, I have, I don't know, a couple of linear feet of paper, and I was looking for the club business meeting minutes from the year 2000, and I couldn't find it, and I realized it was with the 2019 stuff. So now I have organized by year a lot of the club information. Not sure what to do with it. I guess I'll hold on to it. I had took pity on Bart and said, no, I'm not going to send it to him. So,
Send it to Rich. He'll archive it.
well, yeah, in his basement, that's the concern.
No,
Yeah, because a lot of it is still in paper form, as you found out.
Well, you know, I have a box of USB drives that, you know, I don't know what's on them. I suppose I could figure it all out and just print out.
Alex's.
You know, I have paper. It's easier to me to flip through and find out than to open up and start flipping through one USB after another.
Alex is what?
575, what?
Yeah, what is that?
GMRS repeater? What is that?
Hi, Joe.
Joe, we're all looking at you, buddy.
Hey, you're full screen.
And he's muted.
I'm muted. How'd that happen?
Yeah, Alex
you
is
go.
57S 575 GMRS repeater.
Hey, I recognize that paperwork, Joe.
Yeah, I saw your call came up and I dug it out and I just found you on it. I became a member of that group a couple weeks ago, but I cannot hit that repeater.
Joe's looking to put up a GMRS repeater somewhere local.
I've got one here in Hampton.
He's working on it.
I'm sure I can't hit it. If I can't hit Mount Tom, I can't hit you.
Who said that, Jim? Who said that they got one in Hamden?
No,
Randy does. I do.
Oh, Randy. Okay.
Yeah, GMRS.
not Hampton, Connecticut, Hampton, Mass, right?
Hampton, Massachusetts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Joe's trying to get up on Meriden Mountain with his, so big things are going to happen.
Yeah, he might go to Lake Bezic or Bezic Mountain and put like a solar station up with a GMRS repeater.
Yeah, if Castle Craig all of a sudden sprouted another whisker, somebody might notice.
It might happen. It might happen.
Yeah, he had a smile on his face when I asked him, so
Yeah.
You got to program a club PL, Joe.
I will, if I
Okay.
get up there.
I don't know. I think I'd like to try that 220 stuff as far as like,
220 is a fun band.
I want to try that with like, fox hunting.
I've never tried 220 for some reason or other. They said, oh, well, the propagation is something like a cross between 440 and
Closer to
Yeah.
2. Closer to 2.
is it?
And good propagation, not a lot of repeaters on, so you're not having a lot of conflicts. And it's a nice
Not-
quiet band.
Now, not everybody can do 220, right?
There's not a lot of gear out there for 220.
Oh, there isn't.
I remember we had a 220 repeater in town, and it was a big deal to find a 220 portable. It was a Tempo portable. It was programmable.
Yep.
Everybody had the Midland 13509 or the Midland 13513. That was pretty much the only radio you could get on 220 with.
Well, Tempo was bought out by Midland, I think.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tempo came out with the HT. Drake had a 3-band, not programmable, but tunable transceiver, the UB3 it was called.
I got one of those.
You have one?
Yeah,
Yeah, I had
Oh,
one. I have one in my
UB3.
car.
yeah. I don't think I have 220 in mine though. I think it was only 2 meters in the one I have.
I used it a lot on 2 meters and 220, and nobody was on 440, so I rarely used the 440 when I had mine.
So I've got 2 THF 6As, which are Kenwood HTs that have 220 capability.
Yeah.
That's
If you let me
that's it.
keep the third one, Rob, we can put 220 on that.
Well, you'll let me know when you're done checking it out, Eric.
Oh, I've checked it out. I just can't program
No,
it.
I don't think you're done checking it out, Eric. You're not listening.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Next thing, everybody's gonna be scrambling to look around for 220 gear.
I think Joe has got 220 on that. Do you have 220 on that TS 2000? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think it's got it on there? I know it's got
No.
1260, whatever. I thought
Yeah,
it might have 220 though.
I
It
think
might.
it's 440. Then it goes up to 1.2 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1.2, right?
1.2 gig, yeah.
I'm gonna have to go check out that one we got from Mary K1MTD. She donated, or somebody she knows donated. What the heck was it? It was Yezu, which is similar. It's an all bander. I don't know if that's got 220 though.
They don't tend to put much in 220 in their radios, I find.
Yeah.
Kenwood did though, quite often.
Really?
Yeah.
Does Japan not have 220? Is that why they don't bother?
Most of the world doesn't have it.
Who doesn't, John?
Most of the world.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's not. You know, they're wanting to make radios for that they can sell worldwide, pretty
Right.
much, and
Well, I think for a while there, it was a big deal in California, and there was a lot of 220 activity out there. But it never migrated to the East Coast for some
Well,
reason.
we had activity, but 2 meters was very crowded and 220 wasn't. But there were some very good wide coverage repeaters on 220 back in the day. I don't know if there still are. I haven't been on 220 in many years.
Is there a 220 down in West Haven, I think?
Could be.
Maybe.
I think that somebody mentioned one of the radios we got from Paul was a THF 6A, maybe.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Doesn't that have 220 on it?
Yes.
Yeah, and when I learn how to drive it, I'll test it out.
I've got 2 of those, John, and I gave the other one to, I'm sorry. I gave the other one to Eric to check out for us.
It's a good thing because I don't know who the hell you're gonna talk to around here.
Well,
without-
that's the problem.
That's the issue.
We
There
have
is
a
one- there is
220
one
mobile.
in West Haven.
LYP had it. And he had it down the firehouse, I think, at one time.
Yeah, there's probably at least 15 repeaters on 220. Torrington, Milford, Danbury, New
Yeah.
Haven, Vernon, Salem, Bristol, West Hartford, all the
Yeah.
usual places. Meriden, there's one in Meriden.
But Arnie Chase, who owns Channel 61 or did own Channel 61, had a 220 repeater on the top of the 61 tower, which was 900 feet up on Avon. And that thing covered the entire state.
Jeez,
That's
I
not
get it.
is that Box? That's not Box Mountain, is it?
Rattlesnake Mountain, ain't it?
Yeah,
Rattlesnake,
rattlesnake it
okay,
would
yeah.
be, yeah.
according to my Kenwood owner's manual, the TS 2000 covers 220 to 512
Oh,
with the sub-receiver K-type, and K-type is the Americas. So I don't know.
so we have a big rig that handles 220 then.
Joe, you have the owner's manual?
No,
No.
he doesn't, unfortunately. I found it this last weekend, Ed.
Page 106.
It's also on the internet, probably.
But you got the quick guide. It might be in that nifty guide, Joe.
It may receive on it, but does it transmit?
I was gonna
Right.
say the same thing.
That's a good point. It says receiver.
Yeah, so it's
That's
probably.
receive.
Yeah, it doesn't transmit. You're right.
Well, that's no help.
What the hell, Ed?
All right, I'm gonna bring it to the flea market and get rid of it.
There you go. I'll buy it. I'll give you $50.
You can listen to everybody else listening.
We should put it out on the tarp with Jeff's stuff. And if nobody wants it, it goes in a dumpster.
Right, it's going right in, buddy.
I hope he picked that stuff up because I was.
It's
giving-
gone. I
Yeah,
went by there today and looked.
Okay, because I gave him hell yesterday. He was just gonna walk, go off and leave it if anybody wanted. Otherwise, they could throw it in the dumpster.
Oh, it doesn't
Yeah.
work that way.
It
Thanks,
doesn't
Joe.
work that
Oh, he
way.
picked it up.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Because I said, that's all I gotta do is somebody come by and see that, and I go, oh boy, we'll be in trouble again.
Yeah, he came up and wanting to grab some tables, and I said, no tables. Tables are for VE today. Well, he didn't complain. He just put them out there anyway. So
Yeah, he had him on a towel or something.
yeah, actually, I picked up two PL 259 like a 1 meter patch cable. So we were looking for that for a couple of the antenna analyzers we have.
And he had speakers, Kenwood speakers.
And they're
I
not
grabbed
bad
it.
speakers. Those are
No, they're not.
mutually, they're good speakers.
I grabbed 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yep. I've got a couple myself. At one time, that guy had these, I think they were plat cases. These are like hermetically sealed cases you could put gear in and toss them in the ocean. They wouldn't get wet.
Gator boxes, right?
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put the ICOM in that one of those. Cool.
Hey Bart, sorry to interrupt. I just sent in that membership and the PayPal process, so
Great. Where did you send it?
to the mail at WNRG.com.
Okay.
Rob will get that, right?
I'll get that first. I'll just forward it to you.
Yeah,
Well, you get that too, Bart.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you get that too.
Put in a good word for me, will you, Rob?
Say it again.
Put in a good word for me, will you?
You betcha.
I'm looking at some of these firmware updates for my Anytone, and it says that I can actually get on that 220 band, but there's a gap between 200 and 210 megahertz.
That's okay.
that
You can only go to 222.
Right.
222 to 224, isn't it?
It's 222, right? Starts at 222.
Okay, because it says typically the receiver locks, it actually works around 130 to 178,
Yeah.
and 195 to 290. But it expresses the gap between 200 and 210.
Hey, Bart, the SDRs, the dongles, they'll cover that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Probably would,
All
yeah.
right.
Sean, what model Anytone, a portable or a mobile?
It's the handheld, the 878.
What about yours, Eric? Do you got an
Yeah,
Anytone?
so
You showed
Eric-
me
Yeah, I
today.
got one. It covers 220?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading here. It says
Oh,
it-
cool. I'll have to plug it into the computer tomorrow and see.
Well, you got an HD to test it with.
Yeah.
But does it say transmit and receive?
Just reading through. I haven't gotten down.
I
to
don't
the-
think so.
Yeah, Sean posted a link in the chat if anybody wants to click it.
Some of the, there are some tri-band radios out there, some of the Chinese radios, I think, that will cover it. Oh, that's a mod, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's talking a lot about receive frequencies, and I'm not seeing any TX happening.
Boop doop. Here we go. Come back, sister. Thank you, Dolly. Okay.
Hey, Eric, one of the problems with those UV3s, they were direct FM modulation, and they didn't have, that was back before they had subaudible tone.
Yes.
So if you put a subaudible tone encoder on there so you could talk through a repeater, that same tone came back through the demodulator in the receiver, and you had to listen to that doggone tone all the time.
Yeah, but most of the repeaters didn't have PL back then.
Right.
Eric, what's your model number?
Right.
Mine,
Yeah, yours.
878.
578.
Same thing as
578.
Sean. 578 is the mobile.
I'm looking at that. Hang on.
And the one I showed you today, the mobile, that's analog only. I think it's like a 778 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with DMR, so yeah, that doesn't cause me any angst.
I have an 868. That's only 2-bit.
Stop, please. I'm looking for specs, honey.
Yeah, I'm looking at the little sticker on the back of the radio, and it looks like it covers just the 2 meters and the 440.
2 meters, 77. I don't see any 125. Yeah, yours doesn't cover 220, Eric.
Okay.
So what is that? Is that just a mod so that way you can receive and not transmit?
I don't know.
Sure.
It's cheaper to buy a dongle for 20 bucks.
Go to
Listen that way.
Mm.
Go to the. I'm not sure what you're looking at for that, Sean, but go to the people that make the mod, and they'll tell you.
I just looked at it. Yeah, it's receive. It says it won't transmit. It'll put a lot of stress on the transmitter. It's a firmware hack with third-party software.
See, that's what happens when you type into Google. You ask the internet.
Yeah, but Eric, you told me you paid like $1.25 for that thing?
Something like that. It's for the analog
Nice
one. Yeah, it's a nice little radio.
I'm kind of liking that. It says here for 220, but
it says 220 on that.
On this, it's Bridgecom systems.
Yeah, Bridgecom.
I'll have to look into it. I don't think I have the cable for that. I think I programmed everything manually.
Oh, that's like pulling teeth without Novocaine.
Don't say that. I had a tooth pulled last week.
Uh-oh. Recent history.
Yeah.
Well, they do a better job with dentistry now than they used to.
Well, I'm not complaining because I do program radios without software, but it's just faster doing it otherwise.
What about the mobile adapter for the end-fed antenna? The mobile adapter, so that way you can put it in the vehicle, you have your end-fed off the back.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're selling them on Amazon. Here, I'll send you the link.
Send me that because I'll look that up. I'm not sure what you're talking about there.
It just attaches to the back of the car on the antenna.
100-foot long wire off the back bumper.
Okay, that's cute. I like that.
It's like a submarine or a KC-135 with a 2-mile antenna trailing up the back.
That might work on a really good day, Sean.
Looking glass, Crystal Palace over.
Yeah. Yeah, but the fighter jocks get all pissed off when they run into the antenna.
Yeah,
Well, tell them it was a weather balloon.
That's an EC6, right, Joe?
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, the Doomsday plane.
The Doomsday plane.
Well, no better than that kid that was he was out in Waterbury using the laser pen to
Oh,
distract
yeah.
pilot. Yeah.
Jesus.
Not too bright.
Not very bright.
That'll get you into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Rob,
Yeah.
on Amazon, the Anytone 778 dual band, the one I have, $125.99.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that. I might end up getting that.
Yeah, it's a nice little radio, and it'll run 25 watts, and you
Yeah.
don't want to run more than 25 in your car.
I don't need to do that either.
No.
Is that 2-band, Eric, or 3-band?
No, 2-band.
2-band.
UHF, VHF. I'm not seeing anything about 220.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you that.
No, I don't see it. There are other ones out there that might do it, but not this particular one, as far as I know. I don't even try to read the manual on these Chinese things.
As long as you got the software, just run that. I use Chirp for both the Bofang and the THF6 Kenwood that I have.
Yeah, I might be able to put that 778 in the wife's car. I think I'm going to work on that this week.
Just, you know what I want? I want a really simple little platform that could just stick it somewhere and say, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it. Everything's on the mic.
Yeah, because you can do a lot on the microphone with that, like switch bands and everything. So
Yeah.
And I was programming in all your crazy simplex frequencies. I was using it to listen for the Fox.
Yeah. I think I'm going to change the Fox number 2 over to same frequency on transmit and receive like I did for 4 today. I was talking to Dave about it, and we both agreed that there's no reason to have 2 different frequencies for a Fox. You transmit on the same frequency he transmits on, and
I can't bring it up, you mean?
yeah, like you're gonna,
well, that would be easier. Yes.
145.2, and you don't have to change channels to get to a different, or change VFO frequencies,
right,
to get to the transmit frequency of the Fox. It's
I was doing a lot of dialing today on that little Kenwood.
I think that's frustrating. To me, it would be frustrating. So I don't want that.
Rob, why do you have them so you need DTMF to turn them on and off? Why don't you run them continuous? Battery
mainly. Battery mainly. So one of them has just got like 3 AA batteries. The other 2, like one's got a LiPo, and the other's got like sealed lead acid. I don't care about those as much because I know they'll last for a couple of days. But the one that I just put out now, it's got a traditional Bofang, which is, I believe, a nickel metal hydride. And the other one that I've got, the Fox number 2, has got the alkalines. I think I'm just going to change those over to same transmit free and receive frequency. Make it easier. The last thing anyone that's hiding Fox boxes is frustration. You want to challenge people, but not frustrate them.
Well, now, if you had a little solar panel and you could stick that up above the weeds, it'd be easier to find.
Yeah, sure. I could also encase it in blaze orange,
Little
LEDs on it.
A blinking light and a siren.
Neon sign arrow. The Fox is here.
I was going to say, one of these weeks, we're going to make some quick cardboard signs on either Saturday or Sunday. Put Fox this way.
I think one of these days,
all over.
I think Bart is going to take one of these, put it on his car, take it someplace and say, hey, I just re-hid your Fox. Now you got to find it.
I have thought about it.
I know you have.
We thought about it today. Trust me.
Why do you think I'm always overwatching my Fox boxes?
Hey, Bart, today it was inside an empty vodka bottle.
Yes, it was. You're going to see that in Key Clicks very soon.
Well,
sorry, I missed
bottle
it.
full before you put the Fox in
it. Yeah, I had to drain it.
Yeah, had to get rid of the wet contents. Yeah,
that's what I got accused of from Bob today. He was like, "You had to drain that bottle, didn't you?"
Didn't want to short the radio out.
I went to measure something the other day and couldn't find my tape measure. Then I remembered.
It turned into an
It
antenna.
turned into a Yagi.
I
I
just
think I'm
put
gonna
their,
play around trying to make a miniature Yagi, like quarter wave of the one I have and see if that works.
I think Bob tried that. He tried using a 440 antenna
Yeah.
and it didn't work. So
I've got a little,
Must be a way to scale it.
believe it or not, Joe, I've got a little copper enamel coated wire loop that's got a little tiny little gamma match on it. And I can bring that up to 50 ohm load. It doesn't have a low SWR for transmit, but that thing loads out at 161. So I got to add some length to it. And I probably will be able to get the right frequency on that thing to have a 50 ohm load.
Yeah, not all of us have like what John B has, but I like to be able to drive around in a car with the antenna in the car.
Yeah.
That thing is literally, about 2/3 or 3/4 of my face around. It's about that big. So I got to increase it a little bit just to bring the frequency up.
And we'll put them up on the dashboard like plastic Jesuses.
well, that's what Jim does. N1ZN.
I
He
just
puts
wanna
his
stick-
beam on the dashboard.
Yeah.
I want to stick it out the moon roof and just rotate it and say, yeah, go that way.
What? You don't want a tripod on the back of the car like
Art's laughing.
LYP?
I have to, my wife is my driver, so I have to have like little concessions here and there, Joe.
We can put the little beam in plastic Jesus' hand.
Yeah, that's not, she's going to see right beyond that, Joe.
Yeah.
She'll see right beyond that.
Hey, guys, I gotta sign off, but thanks again. I'll see you all next week.
See you, Randy.
Hey, see you,
All
Randy.
righty.
Take care.
Thanks, Tom.
Randy, you'll get an email from me.
Thanks, Bart.
Yeah, I'm gonna sign off too. It's getting a little late.
Well, get the hell out of here, Eric.
I will.
Yeah, I'm
But now
gonna
you
go
got me
also,
thinking about
guys.
220, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Ed,
do
I
some-
sent you
I'll
an
do some
email
research.
already this evening.
All right, bye.
See you later.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Have a great night.
Yeah, it's 8:30, so I guess.
Yeah.
Time to go. Good night, fellas.
Good night.
Guys, good night.
Okay,
Night all.
see ya.
Take care. Night.